Well, Yes campaigners say they simply don't believe the latest polling, which shows support for the referendum on an Indigenous voice to Parliament continuing to plummet. While the Yes side has a new anthem, an old debate about the Uluru Statement has reignited. Political reporter Olivia Caisley has the story.
In their new book, Uluru Statement from the Heart, co-authors Megan Davis and Auntie Pat Anderson argue the statement is, quote, 15 pages long and includes 3 elements: the one-page pitch to the Australian people, our story of the First Nations history of Australia, and the explanation of the legal reform. Meanwhile, no campaigners are dismissing a new Yes advertisement featuring John Farnham's 80s anthem You're the Voice, which features iconic moments involving Indigenous Australians like Cathy Freeman's gold medal at the Sydney Olympics.
No, a catchy tune, but this is more serious than just the vibe, and that's what all the government's been able to articulate about this, because they're not prepared to provide the detail. You're the voice, try to understand it. I think Australians are trying to understand it. But
the Nationals, who opposed the referendum even before the question was announced, have thrown their support behind Peter Dutton's pledge to hold a second referendum focused solely on constitutional recognition, as revealed exclusively by Sky News.
They're already planning the sequel while doing everything they can to sabotage the original. Their second referendum, though, won't be on what Indigenous people have asked for.
That has been our policy for over a decade now, that we support constitutional recognition.
Have you got to be kidding me? They're up here in power for 9 years. 9 years, just another thing they can put on their list that they didn't get done.
But with new polling showing the No camp now has majority support for the first time, 53% compared to 38% voting yes, Senator Jackie Lambie had this message for Labor.
You are doing a rotten job of selling the voice, and you're going to get a slap for it this morning. Because when it goes down, and at this stage it looks like it's going to go down, the only people to blame, if you think you can walk away from this and leave all that unintended hurt that it's going to leave behind, I tell you, I'm going to be holding you personally responsible.
I think the Prime Minister really does have a final window of opportunity here to recognise the trajectory that this is on and change course.
Yes campaigners are unfazed by the poor polling, claiming to have door-knocked over 40,000 homes over the weekend.
Our own research tells us that about 40% of the Australian population are undecided on this issue, and we know that from the conversations that we're having on the ground.
Olivia Caisley, Sky News, Canberra.